Hello, hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday evening. I'm about a minute late, and I apologize for that. I was just saving a Nerf gun bullet from one of my cats who are obsessed with the Nerf gun little bullet things. And he was making so much noise, I figured you'd be able to hear him and interrupt. So I had to go save it. Rescue the Nerf gun bullets. It's just turning 7:30 now. And I apologize if there's some confusion as to what time I start. Because whenever I post, I seem to post that I'm going live at 6:30. And I don't. I go live at 7:30. So if you ever see me post that to come back at 6:30, don't. I won't be here. Come back at 7:30. I apologize if there's any confusion. Hey, Andrea. Hey, Karen. Karen, I thought of you today as I was preparing because I used the triple banner punch in my card today. I didn't last week, but I figured it was time to use it again. Anyways, I thought of you. Is everyone all bundled up? I'm sitting here with a blanket over my lap because it is so cold. Oh my goodness, it's cold. Okay. Oops. Let's get started. Thank you. I'm actually going to go Friday and get them touched up because if you look closely, they're growing out. But I love them so much. Yes, Karen, I hear what you're saying. Yes, it's that punch. I use it all the time. It's right here. And you can see it's all kind of scuffed up because I constantly am using it. I like an even banner, and I'm kind of neurotic about it, so takes the fuss out of it. Okay, let's begin tonight, and hopefully more people will join. If not, maybe you're watching this on YouTube. If you don't catch any of my videos live, I do post them on my YouTube channel, so you can look for them there. Okay, my card today, it will be featured, let's see here. I think it's going to be featured on my blog Friday. And it's two challenges that I'm combining here. So definitely be on the lookout for my blog post on Friday. It's a sketch challenge. So this layout I didn't come up with. It's from a challenge. And it's also an embossing challenge. And so I do feature two types of embossing on my card today. This is our dry embossing using an embossing folder. And then I used embossing powder on these little flower details here. Thank you, Andrea. I started out with just the Berry Burst and the Emerald Envy, and I thought I just needed something to kind of soften it a little bit, so I added the Soft Sky color, which brings me to my card. Karen, you're funny. I know. I actually, when I was doing the card, I'm like, should I throw a punch on this just for the heck of it? Because now it's become like my weekly thing to do. I decided not to. Okay. So my card base for this card is Soft Sky. And I have it cut at, let's see here, 5.5 by 8.5. And then it's folded at 4 1/4 here in the middle. And that just gets folded over. Next, I took a panel of Emerald Envy cardstock, and this I cut at, let's see here, 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then I'm matting it on a panel of Whisper White, which is 4 by 5 1/4. So that's what I'm gonna do first. Just put some adhesive on it. And adhere that down. Again, matting. I can't help it. It's like an addiction. Once you start to mat, you have to mat everything. I actually challenged myself once to make a card that had no matting on it, and it was so hard. It just felt like something was missing because I mat almost everything. Oh, you know what? Oh, wow. You might not notice. Do you notice a difference in the cards? This one, it looks like I went 1/8 of an inch smaller. Oh, well. If you wanted it a little smaller, cut that 1/8 of an inch shorter. Hey, Joanna. Thanks for hopping on. There is a difference. Can you see that? That's going to bother me. Okay, it's fine. Walk away from the cardstock. Okay, next, for my squares here, I already cut them out ahead of time, so I didn't have to do it live. But I used the layering squares framelits. And these are, I know, but I do notice it and now it's going to bother me. I have to let it go. The layering squares. I use these so much. I use the layering squares, the layering ovals, the layering circles, so much. Probably the circles are the ones I use the most. But what I love about these is that they have a tight mat. So you have squares, and then you have coordinating scallop squares that match perfectly in sizes, and so you can layer them perfectly. Thanks, Karen. I appreciate it. So to me, this is such an investment. The squares, the circles, the ovals are just one of those staple items to have in your inventory, and because they just make it so easy, first of all, which is always ideal, and like perfect, so you don't have to fuss about, you know, cutting and stuff. So I took the largest the largest scalloped square from the layering squares, and this is, let's see here, it's 3 inches. Oops. And I cut that out of Whisper White. And then I took the coordinating next smaller, just regular square framelit. Hi, Christy. And cut that out of Berry Burst. So we have Berry Burst, Emerald Envy, and Soft Sky. And I'm just going to dry emboss that using my folder here. This is the Petal Burst embossing folder. And it's a carryover from last year, I believe. And, oh, I am going to big shot it in front of you. Sorry if I shake, but I wanted you to see this gloriousness. Embossing folders are such an easy way to give texture to your cards. And people are like, their minds are blown. Like when I've done this in classes with people that haven't stamped before, they're just so impressed by it. And yet it's really no work. The Big Shot does all the work for you. So when in doubt, you know, like if you're looking to just add a little something to your card, definitely look in your embossing folders. And the nice thing about an embossing folder is you kind of get 2 in 1, because you can take the positive that it makes, or you could flip it over and use the negative. Now with this one in particular, I don't know why, but the negative kind of always looked like scales to me, like fish scales or dragon scales. So they kind of creep me out. So we're going to use the positive on my card. Oh, and you know what? Where is it? When I use an embossing folder, I do like to adhere it down with Fast Fuse, just because it has texture. Sometimes it doesn't make that like perfect contact between the paper, whereas Fast Fuse will grab it perfect. Fast Fuse is a little fussy to use, so when you roll it down, you're just going to give it like a little check mark, and that cuts the tape off. And that goes there. So that one gets matted. And then that's going to go on our card front. Like so. Okay, Karen, ready? Here we go. I'm telling you, I thought of you literally as I was making this card. I'm like, Karen's going to laugh. I'm using the triple banner punch. So I have just a panel here of Soft Sky cardstock. This is, let's see here, where's my notes? 1 inch by 5.5 inches. And that goes in my smallest portion down here. Go all the way to the end so that it makes a good contact and it's nice and even, both ends. And then add some, whoops, that didn't quite work. There we go. Add some adhesive. I don't know if this is the exact measurement. My problem when I make cards is I don't keep track of my measurements as I go, because I literally am like making things, and sometimes they make it to the card and other times they end up in the garbage. So that actually looks a little shorter, but the same idea. So 1 and 5.5, and then cut both ends. For our little design here, let's see, can you see it? I used, first cut out another, this time I cut the Berry Burst scallop square. And Karen, you're not the only one. Some people really struggle with it, and it took a little while to kind of figure it out. And the best way I can explain it is once you go down with it, you can't just pull off, or else you'll have like this big, like long thing of tape following you. You have to just kind of do like a little check mark. It like cuts the tape for some reason. So that's the best way I can explain it. At least that's what they say to do. It works. So this is a Berry Burst Scallop Square, and this is actually our white shimmery cardstock. I like this because you can watercolor on it, and it's close to, it's a white. It's a shade off than our Whisper White, but regular like watercolor paper tends to be more vanilla. So if I'm using white on my card, I like to use the shimmery white to watercolor on. I'm going to be stamping the little flower detail here. This comes from the Sale-a-bration Lots of Lavender. It's right up there. And this is one of the free items in Sale-a-bration from now until the end of March. This is free with a $50 order. And I've used this a couple of times in my blog already, but this is the first time I'm featuring this little doodad up here. Normally I do this like bouquet down here. And I'm going to be doing the emboss resist technique. Say that 10 times fast. Okay, so first I'm taking my embossing buddy. Oh, there he is. I have him stamped up on a block ready to go. And I'm going to stamp him in 2 corners. And I'm going to I'm going to set it with white embossing papers. Oh my goodness, white embossing powder. I'm all tongue-tied. Hold on, you know what? Let me get a drink of water. Hold on. I'm starting to lose my voice too. So it's going to be white on white. So you're not going to really see it too well. But then that's why we're going to watercolor over it. And that's what's going to bring in the color for us. So here's my embossing buddy. Again, we use the embossing buddy because it gets rid of all the static so that the embossing powder only sticks where we want it to stick. And then my Versamark here. I need a bigger table. Okay, so ink that up, and it's going to go in my one corner. You know, I think I kind of want it to hang off a little bit. See, you can't even see it. I can't see it. Very faintly. And then my other corner. Oops. As I put the lid on upside down. Okay, now I'm going to be able to grab it correct. So we're going to just sprinkle it with our white embossing powder here. You can see it a lot better now. I don't know, can you see? Oh, there you go. Very faintly. I like to be generous because you can always put more on, but once you've heated it, you can't. So it's like you have this one shot to get it right. And then if you mess up, you got to do it all over again. Hi, Mom. Look at you on Facebook Live. I'm so impressed. Okay, so I'm going to take my heat tool here. Again, be careful of fingers. This is super, super hot. So I'm going to work the corner opposite of, I'm going to hold the opposite corner to where I'm heating. Oh, this heat embossing has to be one of the coolest things. And on this side. Okay, doesn't take much. Let it cool. Oops, there we go. Now, can you see it? Let's see if I can get the light to hit it just. There we go. Can you see it? Ever so slightly there. It's just got like a shimmer to it. And we're going to cover over it. You could leave it like that. It actually looks pretty cool, but people may not know it's there. Okay, we're using Berry Burst ink pad. Actually, let me ink that up a little bit more. Okay, and Emerald MB for our leaves. And an aqua painter, which, oh, there it is. I knew I took it out. And it's not very wet, but I don't want it too wet. Okay, so, thanks, Mom. I appreciate it. My Berry Burst here, I'm just going to pick up some color with my aqua painter. And I'm going to go over my little rose there. Wow, this is so hard to do this far away. I normally must be bent over it more. Oh, it's so wet. I want that a little drier. And first I just get the color all around. Can you see that? Wow, that's so far away from you. I'm so sorry. I want the color kind of all the way around it, and it is wet. And basically where I embossed it, it's gonna resist, right? Heat resist. I mean, emboss resist the color. Let's see. And then I do want to add a little bit more definition, so I'll come back. I pick up like this really dark color here, and I'm just going to add some more detail, some darker colors. There's really no rhyme or reason to this. You do want to kind of go like outside the rose lines. You don't want to keep it. Did the color get, yes, it's supposed to, Joanna. So when you're using aqua painter or any kind of watercoloring, you could just buy re-inkers and squirt a little, which look like this. You could buy a re-inker, like squirt it like in a little bowl or something and pick up color that way. But if you're just starting out like I did, you know, not so long ago, and I don't have re-inkers and yet I want a watercolor, all you do is you take your ink pad and just kind of push it, sandwich the two pieces together, and you purposely want color there. And then that's all the color you need to be able to pick up. You don't need re-inkers. So yes, there is color, there is ink on my lid, but purposely there. I put it there. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more dark spots. And again, go around, like over the line. Okay, then I'm gonna do the other one. So I'm gonna first just pick up color. I don't necessarily want it too dark at first. Oh, that's kind of dark. And I'm going to go all around, even like outside the lines of the rose. And then I'm going to come pick up some of that darker color here and just kind of, I don't know, where's Andrea when you need her? She would tell you where exactly to put the dark color. I don't. I just am like, okay, la la la. That looks good. I just put the dark to give it a little bit of depth. No, Mom, I actually did that on purpose. I mean, you could go out and buy all the re-inkers, you know, but in the meantime, you just put a little bit on your lid and you can pull from that. Okay, so easy enough with the aqua painter. You just get rid of the color on a scrap piece of paper and you're good to go. How do you know for sure when you need to re-ink? Is it better to just buy new pads? Oh, no, don't buy new pads. They have re-inkers. So let me show you. Usually your lighter colors will go dry. And I find wintertime is so hard. Hold on, I'm just trying to find. One of my pink ones here was looking really, no, that one's pretty good. They just, well, first of all, you'll be able to tell because they're not stamping evenly. I don't know, can you tell? Okay, so like this one here is my pink pirouette. I used it in a card the other day. See how that's like got almost two-tone on it? Like out in the outside, it's very dark. And on the inside, it's really light. That definitely needs a re-inker. The problem, at least here, I don't know if I want to call it a problem, but the issue that we face in the Northeast is that in the wintertime, our pads will go dry, and in the summer, they'll be super juicy. So like right now, all my ink pads could probably use to be re-inked, but I'm hesitant to do it on some of them just because I know come like spring and when the humidity kicks in, my goodness, they are so juicy. My Night of Navy was almost impossible to use over the summer just because it was so, had so much ink in it. So the easiest way to know if you need to re-ink is first stamp. And if you notice that you're just not getting a bright enough image and it's kind of dull or it's not an even color, it probably needs to be inked, especially if it's one of the subtles. You know, your Soft Sky, Pool Party, Blushing Bride, anything like that will definitely need to be re-inked. Or if it's just like one of your favorite colors and you use it a lot. Cherry Cobbler, like around Christmas time, was so dry for me just because I was using it so much. I was using the red. You're very welcome, Karen. So here we go. I don't know if you can see this. Let's see if I can get my light a little closer. And with my green again, I'm just kind of going over it first. I just want to get the color on and go outside the lines. And then I'm going to come and pick up a little bit of that darker, deeper color and just add some depth like so. The other thing you could do if you have an ink pad that is looking a little not evenly colored and you want to, and you don't have, maybe have a re-inker, is you could always take what is that painting pen called? This is called an aqua painter. It's a 2 set. You get a fine tip and a wider tip. And it unscrews. Watch me undo this and get water everywhere. It unscrews. You put just a little bit of water in there. And then you're good to go. And then you can actually, if you want it wetter, you would squeeze this and it would put water down and make it, I kind of want mine a little drier right now just because I'm doing a small spot. But you could definitely make it a lot wetter. So the other thing I was saying that you could do is, if you didn't have a rate inker and you were noticing it was like getting dry, you could take a spoon, like the spoon part of a plastic spoon, and just rub it, or a bone folder would work as well, and just rub over, like kind of massage it. Give your ink pen massage. And it will spread the color a little bit more. If you were desperate, I definitely recommend getting a rate inker. But if you were desperate and you didn't have a rate inker, that might buy you some time. It's not a perfect solution, but it would buy you some time. Okay. La 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 la. I think this is 2 weeks in a row, ladies, that I am fussy coloring. I don't know if that's a word that fussy cutting is, but I'm going to make fussy coloring a word. Because if you know me, I'm not a huge watercolor person. That's why this kind of stuff is up my alley, because I can just kind of schlep it on. So this is a treat for you, because I normally don't watercolor that much. But this is easy. This you just kind of throw it on. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Okay, last one. My family will think I have lost it for sure. Massaging my email. Oh, that's funny. Oh, nothing, honey. Just giving them a quick massage. They've been pretty stressed out lately. Oh, that's funny. Okay, that works, right? Is that good enough? That's good enough. So again, just once you're done with it, all you have to do is just, oopsie, now it's getting dry. Just on a scrap piece of paper, go until it's clear. And once it's clear, it's good to go for the next color. So it's not like you need one per color. This works for, for every color. Okay, hopefully this is dry. You know what? I'm just going to heat set it quickly because I don't want it to be wet. So I'm just going to take my heat tool. Give me 1 second here. There you go. Now I'm going to, because this is thicker, I'm going to use the fast fuse again just because I don't want my cards to fall apart. I can't stand when that happens. I was going through cards today, and I was kind of looking through my stash, and there was cards that were falling apart. I was so upset. And you've worked so hard at making it, and then you have to put it all back together. So use good adhesive. Okay, so that one's going to go like so, kind of layering, overlapping, covering, pick the term you'd like. And next I'm just going to do the sentiment here. This sentiment comes from, hold on, my hands are tied, the Colorful Seasons stamp set. It's this guy down here. It looks a lot smaller. It's actually, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. It's a lot bigger. This isn't true. Yeah, there it goes. Images at 75%. So it's not true to size. The Colorful Seasons stamp set. I'm a sucker for a good sentiment. And thinking of you, I love it. Thinking of you, happy birthday. Thinking of you, my sympathies. So I stamped it in Emerald Envy. And I'm actually stamping on the white shimmer paper again. And yes, I am. And I chose this because I'm kind of nerdy and I wanted my whites to match perfectly. So I'm a geek. So this is just, let's see here. This is a 1/2 inch. And I don't know how long it is. I'll tell you when I'm done cutting it. So I'm just going to ink that up. And I kind of want it flush left. Hopefully this works. If that's not straight, I have the other end. Oh, I kind of smeared it a little bit. Should I do it again? Sorry. I must have like wiped it almost. Okay, so straight down, don't smear, much better. And that was Emerald Envy. Now I learned, yes, thinking of you. Yeah, or just a note too, Karen. I love just a note. Works for anything. Okay, this was a really cool technique, and this may just be like common sense to you that you know how to make a banner like this. I saw someone do it and I have no clue why. I had never thought of it before. This is so simple and it makes so much sense. Okay, so if I want a banner down here, and I'm not using the triple banner bunch because this is too tiny to use. Oh, no problem, Amy. Don't think twice about it. You're fine. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go up the middle of it. Again, you may be like, Jaimie, everybody knows that. And everybody probably does know this. I just learned, I saw someone do it. I was like, that is brilliant. So you know how sometimes when you do it, you like go too wide here. And so you're kind of like, it's not an even V. This is how you avoid that. So go up the middle about like where you want the point of your banner to go. Okay. And then I'm going to come from the left. I kind of like a shallow banner. Okay. And then I'm going to find, let's see here, how can I hold that? I'm going to come basically at the same spot over level and come the other way. It's kind of a foolproof banner. Look at that. No more worrying about whether your banner is perfect. I know. Either have I, Andrea. It was my mind, but I kid you not, when I see my mind was blown when I saw someone do that. Of course, it doesn't really take much, you know? Let's see. I'm going to use adhesive. Oops. And I fiddled with this. Like, I didn't know where I wanted it. Do I want it down below? Do I want it kind of up high? Do I want it out? Do I want it in? I don't know. There was really no rhyme or reason to why I put it where I put it, except that's just what I was like, okay, enough already. This is where it's going. I fiddled with it for so long. And ta-da. I know, Amy, I did too, and I'm so paranoid about it. But that, honest, is such a foolproof way to cut a banner. It makes it so much easier, and it's pretty even. Okay, ladies. So again, this is comes from the Lots of Lavender stamp set. Sale-a-bration is in full swing right now. It's super exciting. Lots of exciting things going on. My newsletter that went out this evening had a ton of details about just what to expect and how this all runs. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me. And if you didn't get my newsletter and would like to, definitely reach out to me and I will get that in your hands. But in the meantime, happy Sale-a-bration, everyone. And thank you so much for watching. If you are on and you didn't leave a comment, please do so. Because at the end, after I shut it off, I'm going to pick a name and one of you will earn tonight's card. Yay! Oh, thanks, Lynn, so much. I'm glad you were hopped on. Thank you. I am so glad you're going to be joining us next week. That's such a nice surprise, and I just can't wait. It's so fun. Oh, hey, Lynn, you were on too? Thanks. They're actually pretty bad. This is like a week and a half out, so I'm going Friday to fix them up. No problem, ladies. Thank you so much for joining. You all have blessed me so much tonight, and I just love so much sharing with you. It fills my heart. So have a good night, everyone. Oh, bye, Anita. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next week, same time. Bye.